I actually wanted to show you a tweet that blew my mind from Elon from a while back. He said, Elon said, as a friend called it, this is the ultimate skill tree. This is a wall of galaxies, 1 billion light years across.
Yeah.
So these are all galaxies.
Yeah. Like, what the, like, how is it that big? Like, how the hell? And like, I can read the textbook and the this and the that and the whatever, 8 billion years and the Big Bang and the whole thing. And then it's just like, all right, wow. And then it's like, all right, the Big Bang, all right, like what was before the Big Bang?
You think we humans will ever colonize like a galaxy and maybe even go beyond?
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, in the fullness of time. Yeah.
So you have that kind of optimism, you have that kind of hope that extends across thousands of years.
In the fullness of time. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, all the problems, all the challenges with it that I do, but like, yeah, why not? I mean, again, in the fullness of time, it'll take a long time.
You don't think we'll destroy ourselves?
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. And fortunately, we have Elon giving us the backup plan. So I don't know. Like I grew up, rural Midwest, sort of just like conventionally kind of Protestant Christian. It never made that much sense to me. Got trained as an engineer and a scientist. I'm like, oh, that definitely doesn't make sense. I'm like, I know. I'll spend my life as an empirical, rationalist, and I'll figure everything out. And then, again, you walk up against these things. You bump up against these things and you're just like, all right, I like, okay, I guess there's a scientific explanation for this, but like, wow. And then there's like, all right, where did that come from? Right. And then how far back can you go on the causality chain? Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, and even just, experiences that we all have on Earth, it's hard to rationally explain it all. And then, so yeah, I guess I just say I'm kind of radically open-minded, at peace with the fact that I'll probably never know. The other thing, though, that's happened, and maybe the more practical answer to the question is, I think I have a much better understanding now of the role that religion plays in society than I didn't have when I was younger. And my partner, Ben, has I think he quotes his father on this. He's like, if a man does not have a real religion, he makes up a fake one. And the fake ones go very, very badly. And so there's this class, it's actually really funny. There's this class of intellectual that has what appears to be a very patronizing point of view, which is, yes, I'm an atheist, but it's very important that the people believe in something. Right. And Marx had like the negative view on that, which is religion is the opiate of the masses. But there's a lot of like right-wing intellectuals who are themselves, I think, pretty atheist or agnostic that are like, it's deeply important that the people be Christian or something like that. And on the one hand, it's like, wow, that's arrogant and presumptive. But on the other hand, maybe it's right. Because, what have we learned in the last 100 years is in the absence of a real religion, people will make up fake ones. There's this there's this political philosopher who's super interesting on this named Eric Vogelin. And he wrote in the sort of mid part of the century, late part of the 20th century. He's like born in, I think, like 1900 and like died in like 85. So he saw the complete run of communism and Nazism. And himself, fled he fled Europe and the whole thing. His sort of big conclusion was basically that both communism and Nazism, fascism were basically religions, but like in the deep way of religions, like they were, you call them political religions, but they were like actual religions. And, they were what Nietzsche forecasted when he said, God is dead, we've killed him, and we won't wash the blood off our hands for 1,000 years, right? Is we will come up with new religions that will just cause just mass murder and death. And like you read his stuff now and you're like, yep, that happened, right? And then of course, as fully, elite moderns, of course, we couldn't possibly be doing that to ourselves right now, but of course we are. And, I would argue that Eric Vogelin for sure would argue that the last 10 years, we have been in a religious frenzy. That woke has been a full-scale religious frenzy, and has had all of the characteristics of a religion, including everything from patron saints to holy texts to, sin. It's that wokeness has had every aspect of wokeness has had I think it's had every single aspect of an actual religion other than redemption, right? Which is maybe like the most dangerous religion you could ever come up with, is the one where there's no forgiveness. Right. And so I think if Vogelin were alive, I think he would have zeroed right in on that, would have said that. And, we just like sailed right off. I mentioned earlier, like we somehow rediscovered the religions of the Indo-Europeans. We're all into identity politics and environmentalism. Like, I don't think that's an accident. So anyway, like there is something very deep going on in the human psyche on religion that is not dismissible and needs to be taken seriously, even if one struggles with the specifics of it.
I think I speak for a lot of people that it's been a real joy, and for me an honor to get to watch you seek to understand the human psyche as you described. You're in that 30-year part of your life. And it's been an honor to talk with you today. Thank you, Marc.
Thank you, Lex. Is that it? That's only, how long is that?
4 hours with Marc Andreessen is like 40 hours of actual content. So
I'll accept being one of the short ones.
For the listener, Marc looks like he's ready to go for 20 more hours. And I need a nap. Thank you, Marc.
Thank you, Lex.